Discuss this and much more. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Secretary Bessent, thank you so much for being here. Always a pleasure. So let's just start with this. Snap ruling because two federal judges.
Because the federal judges
Just ruled Friday night the White House must
tap
into the contingency funds to partially cover SNAP benefits that expired this weekend due to the shutdown. Yesterday, the court clarified that at least a partial payment needs to be made by Wednesday. When can we expect the Trump administration to make these payments?
Oh, well, President Trump just truthed out that he needs to hear from the courts how this is going to be done. And Jake, as you know, the best way for SNAP benefits to get paid is for five Democrats to cross the aisle and reopen the government.
Right, but there is this contingency fund, and as recently as September 30th, the Agricultural Department had a memo saying that these funds, the contingency funds, I think it's about $5 or $6 billion, could be used to pay these benefits. Now, it'd only be 2 or 3 weeks, but that's a lot for people who need the food.
Well, President Trump just, as I said, President Trump just truthed out that he's very anxious to get this done, and it's got to go through the courts. The courts keep jamming up things. Democrats are in the middle of a civil war, and they should just open the government. That is the easiest way to do this.
Is the administration going to appeal the ruling by the judge? Is that what you mean by the courts need to weigh in? Because the courts have weighed in.
No, but there's a process that has to be followed, so we got to figure out what the process is. President Trump wants to make sure that people get their food benefits.
So it could be done by Wednesday.
Could be.
Okay.
Could be. And 5 Democratic senators could cross the aisle and open the government by Wednesday.
Let's turn to trade, because that's been obviously your focus for several weeks. You're just back from China. President Trump called the summit with President Xi a great success. China's biggest concession was it suspended the export controls on these rare earth minerals that were used for our phones and other things. Trump said this settled the issue. The conservative Wall Street Journal editorial board, however, says the deal mostly restores the status quo that prevailed in May, and that if Mr. Trump wants to deter Chinese mercantilism, he needs a new strategy and more allies. What's your response to their view of this?
Well, I couldn't disagree with that more. What are the sources of U.S. strength, and how does China view us? We're the greatest military power in the world. Number 2, we have the greatest economy. We have the reserve currency. And number 3, it's our innovation and technology. And everything that came out of the conference between President Trump and President Xi, they gave the U.S. more leverage. Now, China has invoked this rare earth export regime. They did it once on April 4th for rare earth magnets, and they tried it again on October 8th. On October 8th, the president very forcewully pushed back. He threatened to add 100% tariffs to Chinese products, and we were able to negotiate a 1-year pushback or a 1-year suspension for this licensing regime. And the licensing regime, let me tell you, is for everything that contains rare earths produced in China that has 0.01%. It was completely unworkable. And Jake, it wasn't the U.S. versus China, it's China versus the world. They put it on the whole world. And the whole world pushed back. President Trump, the leader of the free world, pushed back on behalf of the whole world.
So do you disagree with the assessment that all this deal really does is reset things to where they were in May before a lot of this trade war began?
Well, I think it's naive for the Wall Street Journal editorial board, who I call a bunch of grumpy old men, to think that the Chinese weren't going to roll out these rare earth restrictions. They've been putting this plan together for 25, 30 years, and the U.S. has been asleep at the switch, and now this administration, we're going to go at warp speed over the next 1-2 years, and we're going to get out from under the sword that the Chinese have over us, and they have it over the whole world. This time, we have rallied the allies, and so it is going to be all the Western democracies, the Asian democracies, and India are also going to join us in this in trying to form our own supply chains. We don't want to decouple from China, but we need to de-risk. They've shown themselves to be an unreliable partner in many areas.
Let's talk about Canada for 1 second.